Welcome to International Securities Exchange's podcast series. Facilitated by renowned educators, ISE podcasts are intended to teach beginning as well as seasoned investors the ins and outs of trading. To find an updated list of podcasts, please visit www.ise.com/podcasts. Please be sure to listen to our important message following this episode regarding the risks of investing in exchange-traded options.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar. It is Successful FX Strategies for Any Market Condition. This is Katrina Grachaki from the ISE. We are being joined today by Toni Hansen. Toni Hansen is president and co-founder of Bastiat Group Incorporated and runs the popular tradingfrommainstreet.com. A leader in online education, she has been trading and educating new traders, money managers, professional market analysts, and traders, as well as those simply wishing to hone their market skills. Her style of trading and market analysis transcends both time and market vehicles, making it an attractive investment vehicle for traders of stocks, futures, options, ETFs, and the Forex market. At this point in time, I will be turning it over to Toni, who will be hosting today's presentation.
Hi, thank you. Can you guys hear me okay?
Feedback seems to be that we can.
Okay, perfect. All right, well, thank you guys for joining me. This is, I believe, my third or fourth. I appreciate them for welcoming me back. I'm going to kind of pick up where I left off during the last presentation. For those of you that have not attended any of the prior ones, I'm going to cover some of the same material. I'll have updated charts and things like that so you can get a better grasp of the information. And I'm also going to look at some pattern development that we looked at in the last session and kind of go into how that pattern development unfolded anyways, and give you an idea of, what to look for next in some of the FX pairs. As you probably know, ISE, they've come out with a number of options on the FX pairs, and what you're going to see is that unlike some of the FX pairs themselves, the options have the base currency as the US dollar. So when we're looking at some of the charts that might be, for instance, the euro to dollar pair, you're going to be kind of inversing those charts if you want to look at them for option strategies. So the topic that I'm going to discuss today is basically successful FX strategies for any market condition. One of the things that I want you guys to know about my style of market analysis is that it doesn't necessarily matter what type of security that you're trading when you're dealing with the type of technical analysis that I do. Again, it is a technical-based analysis, so I'm not looking at fundamentals, things like that. When you're thinking about things like economic data and that type of stuff, what I'm basically assuming then, based upon my style of analysis, is that the reactions and the build-up to such economic data is already portrayed to some degree in the charts themselves. And so you can kind of get a feel for even data that might come out unexpectedly. There's going to be certain types of buildup whereby patterns will develop and play out based upon that economic data. So you don't necessarily need to know what those things are. Of course, if you're going into positions ahead of time, you want to be careful if there's any big data coming out, Europe, Asia, the United States, you're dealing with FX. So keep an eye on those things. But with my strategies, I'm focusing purely upon the technical side of the market. Go through the quick disclaimers here. And here's the list of what the ISE FX options are. So they have 6 pairs here. The first one's the Australian dollars, the USD AUD, and their symbol is AUX. The British pound to US dollars, BPX, Canadian dollar, CDD, Euro, EUI, Swiss franc, SFC, and Japanese yen is the YUK. You can learn more about these on their website at ise.com/FX. Now, when we're looking at different strategies in any marketplace, one of the first things that you want to focus on is what is the primary time frame that you're looking at your strategies on. For instance, are you someone that's mainly focused upon day trading, or are you looking for longer term holds, maybe on a weekly or a monthly time frame? So whenever you're first getting into any position and you're kind of thinking about where you want to go in the market, that's the main thing that you need to focus on, because all of your actions are going to be based upon what's going on that particular time frame. For instance, let's say that you are going to be swing trading. Swing trading means you're looking at holding positions for 3 to 5 days, sometimes 7 days at a single time. And when you're looking at a swing trade position, mainly you're looking for pattern development on a daily time frame. Now, just because you're looking at a setup on a daily time frame, however, does not necessarily mean that your entire position is going to be based upon what's going on that daily time frame. My style of market analysis goes down and it breaks up the building blocks of these patterns and what's going on in the pattern and price development. So while something might be forming, for instance, on a daily time frame, I'm also looking at the smaller time frames, such as a 30-minute or a 60-minute chart, to get a feel for what's going on these smaller time frames, which contribute to how the larger pattern is going to play out. Additionally, I'm looking at a larger time frame. So even if I'm swing trading, I'm going to be paying attention to what's going on a weekly time frame and sometimes a monthly time frame as well. Some of the things that we look at when we're looking at the building blocks of pattern and price development are things like support and resistance levels, pace or momentum, and trend development and trend placement. These are the primary building blocks that I'm going to cover in this course. So as we go through here, you're going to see various examples showing what each of these building blocks are. So for instance, if I'm looking at that daily time frame, what I'm going to be looking at for these building blocks are not only support and resistance levels based upon larger time frames, but also things that are going on a smaller time frame basis, like the 30-minute chart that's going to show me, for instance, back and forth momentum moves within like a daily consolidation. Things like where does that action take place in a larger trend development. So these are some of the things that I'm going to cover here throughout this course. Now, the first thing that we're looking at are going to be the support and resistance levels. Very simply put, support and resistance are price zones in the market where a security is liable to react in some manner that affects the trend which is in play as the support or resistance levels hit. Most of you are really familiar with the concept of what support and resistance levels are. One thing you have to really be careful of is to pay attention to the fact that support and resistance levels should be thought of as zones, not exact price points. For instance, let's say we are looking at 1.5 as a price resistance zone in one of the FX pairs. Now, if you're looking at the 1.5, this is a type of whole number resistance of sorts because you're dealing with an even number, and halves tend to be gravitated towards very easily on these FX pairs. And so as you're looking at this 1.5 as a resistance level, it's not necessarily that 1.5 is going to hold exactly. Maybe it was a previous high and the previous high was 1.52, or maybe the previous high was 1.54 or 53. It's still in that 1.5 zone. So as it comes back to that, that's also going to serve as a resistance level.
Thank you for listening to our podcast. To find more podcasts on options, stocks, alternative markets, and market data, please visit www.ise.com/podcasts.